This is the engine bay inspection video of the 1993 Dodge Dakota. So I do have the vehicle off right now. The fuel level is very low. I wouldn't want it to run out in the lot. The engine bay is complete. It's dirty. I expect that from a vehicle that is 35 going on 40, almost 40 years old. Both valve covers are leaking. They need to be replaced. The transmission fluid actually came back nice, red and clear. It looked good. Power steering fluid did not have an off or burnt smell. It had a fair red tint to it, so that was good as well. The oil was quite dark, however, it didn't smell of fuel dilution or anything like that. I appreciate that everything is serviceable in here, which is pretty typical of the early 90s. Everything has a dipstick, everything is accessible and serviceable, so I could check everything. The battery tie down is here, it's present, and the terminals are not corroded or oxidized. The coolant of note is discolored and old. It needs a coolant drain fill or flush. Recommend a drain fill on that rather than a flush, just something kind of gentle over a year or so. There is a slight top end rattle. My suspicion is it's maybe something in the valve train on the driver's side. These older Chrysler engines, the pushrod engines from these eras, they do get noisy with age. It could be something as simple as a valve adjustment or a readjustment of the rocker arms. Typically, they're not very complicated. So if there's noise in the head, but there's no misfires, the engine's not struggling or running rough, it's usually just a lash adjustment or something in the head that needs to be tightened down. That's something that could be addressed with the valve covers. So other than the valve cover leaks themselves, I didn't see any other leaks in here, didn't see any damage along the core support in the front of the vehicle. It is quite dirty. It could be cleaned. I would take care to put too much water, spray any water in here. But there's not a lot of top end rust in here outside of the exhaust, which is acceptable. And even the hood light works. So with the exception of the valve cover leaks, which are minor, I'm gonna go ahead and give the engine bay a pass. Thank you. This is the exterior inspection of the 1993 Dodge Dakota. Right away, I would like to document the vehicle was unable to be road tested. It's probably about 6 or 7 cars deep, buried in the back of the lot. I did have the car idling for quite some time. I did throttle it. I did check steering, and as much as I could check in place. I was not able to road test the vehicle though. But let's do the exterior inspection right away. Clear coat's gone, age-related stuff. Peeling clear coat up here. Panel gaps come back fine. I didn't see any true real collision damage that would strike me as like repaired or anything that should be hit, that was intended to be hidden. Some minor damage up here to the left lamp assembly, the headlamp assembly. These panels aren't pushed in. The gaps are nice and square following the vehicle back. There is some kind of push or crush damage right here. Maybe it slid into something, a snow berm or pole. The paint itself is not scraped away, so it implies maybe it was something soft that it, was obviously softer than the paint. So that's there. It does not affect the operation of the door. It's aesthetic only. Fuel fill door is here. Walking the back of the vehicle. Of course, there's paint imperfections everywhere. It's got clear coat damage. It's got a very mild amount of rust. We've got some, missing paint here, peeling logos, things like that. All age related. Nothing to imply neglect or abuse, for the vehicle. Following the truck bed up, following the panel gaps on the passenger door. Door is square. Coming up to the passenger front quarter panel, that's square as well. And I had the hood up and down multiple times. Other than the clear coat and the aesthetic, the hood is nice and square. There's nothing to imply that this vehicle is in any sort of serious collision or accident. So other than the documented clear coat issues and the cosmetic dent right here in the door, I'm going to go ahead and give the exterior a pass considering the circumstances and the age of the vehicle. Thank you. This is the undercarriage inspection of the 1993 Dodge Dakota. Right away, I appreciate that I can see virtually everything. There is a surprisingly minor amount of rust. It all appears to be kind of superficial rust on the vehicle. I am seeing a little bit of maybe dampness on what appears to be cross member sway bar running under the oil pan. So the vehicle is four-wheel drive. You can kind of see differential. The differential itself doesn't appear to be wet, but it could be like a oil pan or maybe a power steering line, but I'm going to guess oil pan. You couldn't see that from the top. The engine bay itself is clear. Could also be valve cover. from the engine bay as well. So we're going to walk the vehicle from the driver's side. Same deal. There's the transfer case. Transfer case is dry. Cross member, everything is complete under here. There's nothing missing. The exhaust is surprisingly intact for its age. It's not showing excessive amounts of rust. All the rust under here is really kind of in line with the vehicle's age and the metallurgy that Chrysler uses. Chrysler tends to use discount metallurgy, discount metals typically in their products. So this vehicle is actually handled a fair bit better than many, actually, the more modern vehicles. I'm just seeing just really superficial rust on most of the components. Even up in the bumper frame back here where you collect salt and road debris, road salt, it's still pretty good. Walking the passenger side of the vehicle, I apologize, it's really bright out here. So not seeing anything, any deviance from the driver's side in terms of rust or damage or failed componentry. So I'm gonna go to the front of the vehicle. We're gonna check right underneath the engine and inspecting the sway bar. Sway bar does look a bit damp. Not seeing any drips actually collected on it. Again, could be valve cover, could be oil pan. Not at all surprising from a vehicle from 1993. So it does look like if you peek under here, there does look to be some grease staining there. That could be from an axle boot for the front wheel drive system. Maybe an axle boot has failed. I couldn't tell you immediately if it's a live axle. I believe it's not. I believe it's going to have its own CV axle. So that's probably a failed boot for the grease there. So still with the age, I would call that the failures that documented or the grease under here. I'm still going to go ahead and give the undercarriage a pass based on its age and based on the condition of the vehicle overall. None of those things are alerting me to immediate cause for concern. My bigger issues would be rust and severe damage or bent frame. I'd be looking for like flaking rust, metal that's just beyond, it's now structurally unsound. I'm not seeing that on this vehicle, so I'm gonna go ahead and give that a pass. Thank you. This is the interior inspection of the 1993 Dodge Dakota. Surprisingly crack-free. The plastic on the dash and everything. So this is early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. Lots of American vehicles in particular had problems with the UV protection, for whether from the glass or from the materials themselves. They're still perfecting the kind of changes in the EPA requirements for vehicle materials, and I'm impressed. There's not a lot of cracking on the interiors. They're complete. It's got general dirt just from its age. The seats aren't torn. Seats aren't ripped up. The armrest is complete. It's not missing any of its cloth. The roof liner is not missing. The glass isn't cracked. The back window slides free. The one thing I will document, which is also documented in the checklist, is there is no driver seat belt. So clearly owned by someone who wasn't concerned about that. Of course, there's no airbags as well. The steering column cover is missing. Looks like the tumbler ignition has been replaced. Maybe the key, it's common, maybe the keys got lost. The only way to fix it, there's no reprogramming here. There's no radio frequency keys. There's no transponders. The anti-theft is built into what little there is built into the key. So if you lose the key, you're basically replacing the tumbler. It's possible that when the action of trying to remove the covering, it broke, it's brittle, it's old. So that's obviously been replaced, and the dealer sellers made no intent to try to hide that. So I'm not seeing a concern here. Again, I'm going to go ahead and give the interior a pass. Everything in here is complete. Thank you. Normally this portion of the video is reserved for vehicles with trunks, but this is the 1993 Dodge Dakota truck bed. No punches through the liner. There's no significant amount of rust in here. I'm impressed by that, again, considering its age. There's still even shininess on the clear coat that was sprayed in here. I'm not seeing punctures, dents, I'm not actually really seeing any real dents in here that imply any sort of heavy weight was dropped in here or the vehicle was abused and kind of beat up. So I'm going to go ahead and give the truck bed portion of the video a pass. Thank you. This is the code scan portion of the 1993 Dodge Dakota. So normally I would plug this vehicle in with our code scanner. The onboard diagnostic 2 system didn't come into play until 1996. So this vehicle is not going to get a code scan or anything like that. There is no codes to scan. The dash was clear, no flashing check engine lights. So again, no codes to read, so no scanner to use. So this is kind of a neutral neutral section of the video, but thank you. Okay, this is the conclusions video for the 1993 Dodge Dakota. Everything documented in the video. The vehicle shows its age. It comes back largely with a clean bill of health. Nothing significant was documented during the inspection of this vehicle other than the small minor things like the valve cover leaks, the CV axle boot we saw underneath, this driver's seat belt, things like that. But otherwise, acknowledging the vehicle's age and the current condition, I'm going to go ahead and give this vehicle a pass. Thank you very much.